Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Melanie Balvaquera. Today, I will be discussing the e-commerce, digital markets, and digital goods. After our discussions, you will be able to determine and differentiate the unique features of e-commerce, digital markets, and digital goods. Second, discuss and understand how the e-commerce transformed marketing. And lastly, appreciate how has e-commerce affected business-to-business transactions. Now let's start with the definition of the e-commerce. What is e-commerce? E-commerce refers to the use of the internet and the web to transact a business. More formally, e-commerce is about digitally enabled commercial transactions between and among organizations and individuals. Or for the most part, this means that transactions that occur over the internet and the web. Commercial transactions that involves the exchanging of value or money across organizational or individual boundaries in return for products and services. The history of e-commerce. E-commerce began in 1995 when one of the first internet portals, Netscape.com, accepted the first ads from major corporations and popularized the idea that the web could be used as a new medium for advertising and sales. So from the start, no one envisioned at the time that would turn out to be an exponential growth curve for e-commerce retail sales, which doubled and tripled in the early years. E-commerce grew at double-digit rates until the recession of 2008 to 2009, when growth slowed to a crawl. Reflected on the rightmost area is the illustration chart for the growth of e-commerce. Next slide is the features of e-commerce. So why has e-commerce grown so rapidly? The answer lies in the unique nature of the internet and the web. Simply put, the internet and e-commerce technologies are much more rich and powerful than previous technology revolutions like radio, telephones, and television. Now let's explore each of these unique features in more detail. First, we have ubiquity. This feature is available everywhere at all times. We also have global reach, wherein the total number of users of an e-commerce business can obtain. Third, we have the universal standards, which means standards that are shared by all nations around the world, and its richness, which is complexity in content of the message like videos, audio, and text messages are possible. We also have interactivity. It's a two-way communication between the merchant and the consumer. Information density, which is the amount and quality of information available to all market participants. And the personalization, customization features. This is the technology that allows personalized messages to be delivered to individuals as well as groups. And then lastly, the social technology, user content generation and social networking. So new internet and social and business models enable user content creation and distribution and support social networks. Moving on, we have the key concepts in e-commerce. For the digital markets, digital goods in a global marketplace. The internet has created a digital marketplace where millions of people all over the world are able to exchange a massive amounts of information directly, instantly, and for free. As a result, the internet has changed the way the companies conduct business and increase their global reach. The internet has also helped businesses seeking to purchase from other businesses, which reduces asymmetries and locate better prices and terms. Hence, the digital market and digital goods are established. Digital market. Digital market are very flexible and efficient because they operate with reduced search and transaction costs. This is the ability to change prices dynamically based on market conditions. Digital markets provide many opportunities to sell directly to the consumer, bypassing intermediaries such as distributors or retail outlets. Well, for digital goods, it refers to commodities or products that exist in digital form, something that can be sold and consumed online. The digital marketplace has greatly expanded sales of digital goods. Music tracks, videos, Hollywood, movies, software, newspaper, magazines, and books can all be expressed, stored, delivered, and sold as purely digital products. In general, for digital goods, the marginal cost for producing another unit is about zero. It costs nothing to make copy of a music file. If we've noticed nowadays, businesses dependent on physical products for sale such as bookstores, book publishers, music labels, and film studios face the possibility of declining sales. So, a big example for this here in the Philippines is the national bookstores. Medyo kulang ang or declining ang sales nila. Next, we have the types of e-commerce. There are many ways to classify electronic commerce transactions. One is by looking at the nature of the participants in the electronic commerce transaction. Reflected here are the three major electronic commerce categories. First, the business to consumer e-commerce, business to business e-commerce, and consumer to consumer e-commerce. Let's differentiate each type. Business to consumer e-commerce. Business to consumer e-commerce involves retailing products and services to individual shoppers. This applies to any or direct to consumer selling. It has come to be associated with running an online store, also known as e-commerce or e-tailing. Examples of this are Amazon, eBay, Shopee, Lazada, or any other retailer that sells online. Next, we have the business to business e-commerce. So what is B2B? B2B means this is a type of electronic commerce which exchange the products of services or information between businesses. A B2B transaction is conducted between two companies such as wholesaler or an online retailers. Example of a B2B is a business that manufactures products or services of software that sells to another businesses that can use them as raw material. And finally, the C2C or consumer to consumer electronic commerce. Consumer to consumer electronic commerce involves consumers selling directly to consumer. C2C sells to other consumers with the aid of an online intermediary who takes a cut. C2C e-commerce examples includes eBay, Amazon Marketplace, and Mercari. Next topic, we have the e-commerce business models. Changes in the economics of information described earlier have created the conditions for entirely new business models to appear. Below are some of the internet business models that have emerged. First is the e-tailer. Online retail stores, often called e-tailers, come in all sizes. It sells physical products directly to consumers or to individual business. Example, Amazon, Shopee, Lazada. We have the transactional broker. This saves users money and time by processing online transactions and generating a fee each time a transaction occurs. Sites that process transactions for consumers normally handled in person, by phone, or by mail are transaction brokers. The largest industries using these models are financial services and travel services. We also have the market creator. This provides a digital environment where buyers and sellers can meet, search for products, display products, and establish prices for host products. It can also serve consumers or B2B e-commerce, generating revenue from transaction fees. And then we also have the content provider. While e-commerce began as a retail product channel, it has increasingly turned into a global content channel. Content is defined broadly to include all forms of intellectual property. Intellectual property refers to all forms of human expression that can be put into a tangible medium such as text, CDs, DVDs, or stored in or any digital or media, including the web. E-commerce business model are community provider. Community providers are sites that create a digital online environment where people with similar interests can transact, meaning buy and sell goods, share interest, photos, videos, communicate with like-minded people, receive interest-related information, and even play out fantasies by adopting online personalities called avatars. So example of these sites are Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others. We have the portals such as Google, Bing, Yahoo, and other web search tools, as well as integrated package of content and services such as news, email, instant messaging, maps, calendars, shopping, music downloads, video, and more are all in one portal. It provides initial point of entry to the web along with specialized content and other services. And lastly, we have the service provider business models. This is while e-tailer sells products online, service providers offer services online. There's been an explosion in online services because this provides Web 2.0 applications such as photo sharing, video sharing, and user-generated content such as services. It provides other services such as data storage and backup. And now, we have the e-commerce revenue models. A firm's revenue model describes how the firm will earn revenue, generate profits, and produce a superior return on investment. Although there are many different e-commerce revenue models that have been developed, most companies rely on one or some combination of the following six revenues. Six revenues like advertising, sales, subscription, freemium, transaction fee, and affiliate. First, discuss the advertising models. In the advertising revenue model, a website generates revenue by attracting a large audience of visitors who can then be exposed to advertisement. The advertising models is the most widely used revenue model in e-commerce, and arguably without advertising revenues, the web would be a vastly different experience from what it is now. Everything from news to videos and opinions is free to visitors because advertisers pay the production and distribution costs in return for the right to expose visitors to ads. Second, we have the sales. In the sales revenue model, the companies derive revenue by selling goods, information, or services to consumers. Companies such as Amazon, which sells books, music, and other products, all have revenues models. Content providers make money by charging for downloads or entire files such as music tracks or books, or for downloading music or video streams. And then the subscription. In the subscription revenue model, a website offering content or services charges a subscription fee for access to some of all of its offering of an ongoing basis. Content providers often use this revenue model. For instance, the online version of Consumer Reports provides access to premium content such as detailed ratings, reviews, and recommendations only to subscribers. Another revenue model is a freemium. In the free freemium revenue model, firms offer basic services or content for free while charging a premium for advanced or special features. For example, Google offers free applications but charges for premium services. Pandora, the subscription radio service, offers a free service with limited playtime and a premium service with unlimited play. Then we have transaction fee. In the transaction fee revenue model, a company receives a fee for enabling or executing a transaction. For example, eBay provides an online auction marketplace and receives a small transaction fee from seller if the seller is successful in selling an item. And lastly, in the affiliate, this is to send visitors to other websites in return for a referral fee or percentage of the revenue from any resulting sales. How has e-commerce transformed marketing? The internet provides marketers with new ways of identifying and communicating with millions of potential customers at cost far lower than traditional media. Crowdsourcing is utilizing the wisdom of crowds, helps companies learn from customers in order to improve product offerings and increase customer value. Behavioral targeting. This is a technique which increases the effectiveness of banner, rich media, and video ads. And lastly, the social commerce, which uses social networks and social network sites to improve targeting of product and services. Moving on, the online marketing and advertising. While e-commerce and the internet have changed the entire industries and enable new business models, no industry has been affected than marketing and marketing communications. The internet provides marketers new way of identifying and communicating with millions of potential customers at cost far lower than traditional media, including search engine marketing. This is the text ads targeted precisely what the customer is looking for the moment, so it drives the sales oriented. Display ads, which is this is for brand development and sales. Banner ads, pop-ups, and leave behinds. And then we also have the classify ads, which is good for sales and branding. So this involves to job, real estate, and service ads, interactive, rich media, and personalized user searches. And then the rich media, of course, the animations, games, and puzzles, interactive, and targeted entertaining. This involves for branding orientation. And then affiliates and blog marketing. So it drives sales orientation. Blog and website marketing steers customers to a parent sites. And then video sponsorships wherein it drives sales. Then for online games, contests, coupon sites sponsored by the business or the firms. And then lastly, the email. So for targeted emails, it recommends effective sales orientation, targeted marketing tool with interactive and rich media potential. Let's now move on and discuss the B2B e-commerce, new efficiencies, and relationship. The trade between business firms, business to business, represents a huge marketplace. This is the process of conducting trade among business firms, which is complex and requires significant human intervention, and therefore it consumes significant resources. Increasingly, these transactions are flowing through a variety of different internet-enabled mechanisms. One of these are the EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange. Electronic data interchange enables the computer-to-computer exchange between two organizations of standard transactions such as invoices, bills, uploading, shipment, schedules, or purchase orders. Transactions are automatically transmitted from one information system to another through a network, eliminating the printing and handling of paper at one end and inputting of data at the other. EDI has standards that define the structure and information fields of electronic documents for that industry. And then we have another one, which is the private industrial networks, which typically consists of a large firm using an extranet to link to its suppliers and other key business partners. The network is owned by the buyer, and it permits the firm and designated suppliers, distributors, and other business partners to share the product design and development, marketing, production, scheduling, inventory management, and unstructured communication, including graphics and email. Another term for a private industrial network is a private exchange. And lastly, the net marketplace. Net marketplace, which are sometimes called e-hubs, provide a single digital marketplace based on internet technology for many different buyers and sellers. They are the industry owned or operate as independent intermediaries between buyers and sellers. Net marketplaces generate revenue from purchase and sale transactions and other services provided to clients. Participants in net marketplaces can establish prices through online negotiations, auctions, or requests for quotations, or they can use fixed prices. Next topic is the mobile digital platform and mobile e-commerce. Nowadays, people are relying on mobile devices as their primary device for accessing the internet. Let's define the m-commerce. M-commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services through wireless handheld devices such as smartphones and tablets. This is a form of e-commerce that enables users to access online shopping platforms without the use of desktop computer. In 2010, there were an estimated 5 billion cell phone subscribers worldwide, with over 855 million in China and 300 million in the United States. And now, we have the m-commerce applications. M-commerce applications have taken over services that are time critical, that appeal to people on the move, or that accomplish a task more efficiently than other methods. They are especially popular in Europe, Japan, South Korea, and other countries with strong wireless broadband infrastructures. The following section describes some examples: software application sales at stores such as iTunes, entertainment downloads of ringtones, music, videos, TV shows, mobile display advertising, banking and financial services, games and internet shows, wireless advertising, and retailing. Next topic is the building of an e-commerce website. Building a successful e-commerce site requires a keen understanding of business, technology, and social issues, as well as systematic approach. The two most important management challenges in building a successful e-commerce site are developing a clear understanding of your business objectives, knowing how to choose the right technology to achieve those objectives. In planning your website, you need to answer the question, what do we want the e-commerce site to do for our business? The key lesson to be learned here is to let the business decisions drive the technology, not the reverse. This will ensure that your technology platform is aligned with your business. Reflected on screen is the system analysis, business objectives, system functionality, and information requirements for a typical e-commerce site. As mentioned earlier, your planning should identify the specific business objectives for your site and then develop a list of system functionalities and information requirements. Business objectives are simply capabilities you want your site to have. System functionalities are types of information systems capabilities you will need to achieve for your business objectives. And then the information requirements for a system are information elements that the system must produce in order to achieve the business objectives. For example, your business objective is to have a display goods. The system functionality should involve with digital catalog. And for the information requirement, it should have a dynamic text and graphics catalog. Another example is the personalized or customized product objective. The functionality should include customer on-site tracking, and then site log for customer visit, data mining capability to identify common customer paths and appropriate responses. Building the website in-house versus outsourcing. There are many choices for building and maintaining the website. Much depends on how much money you are willing to spend. Choices range from outsourcing the entire website development to an external vendor to building everything yourself or in-house. Figure 10 illustrates the alternatives. First, we have the completely in-house. You will build your site and you will be managing it as a host. Mixed responsibility 1 option is to outsource the building or development of your site while you will be managing it as a host. Mixed responsibility 2 options is you will develop or build the site while you can ask others to manage it as a host. And the last option is to completely outsource, meaning someone or an external vendor will be developing your site or managing it as well. The website budget. In building the website, you need to also consider the cost and budget. The websites of large firms with high levels of interactivity and linkage to corporate system cost several $1,000,000 a year to create and operate. And in building it in general, the cost of hardware, software, and telecommunications for building and operating a website has fallen dramatically by over 50% since 2000. Making it possible for very small entrepreneurs to create fairly sophisticated sites. At the same time, the cost of system maintenance and content creation have risen to make up more than half of typical website budgets. Providing content and smooth 24/7 operations are both very labor intensive. Now that ends my presentation. Thank you everyone. I hope you learned something from my topic, e-commerce, focusing the digital markets and digital goods.